know, back to the hype in Borderlands and all that stuff. The first game had, you know, Siren, Commando, Berserker, and a Gunslinger. Borderlands 2 had a Siren, a Commando, a Gunslinger / melee hybrid, and then a Gunzerker, which is kind of like, you know, Split and Brick and Mordecai. And I think they actually did a better job on Borderlands 2 because not only did they have characters to work from, they they kind of like look like maybe they weren't, you know, they definitely changed Roland. They definitely changed Axton over Roland. He's not exactly the same, but almost every problem that people had with him was fixed in Axton. I just have a problem with the way he heals. Like I said, you could put 1 point into preparation and just heal between enemies. You know, like you do, you know, kind of like what I do with Maya. I put 1 point in so I can heal when I'm killing enemies. Okay, it popped his head. I just wanted to pop his head and aggro all those enemies. Maybe get me another chance at a blue or a purple. Why did I get a second cryo on me? Like it re-propped. Okay, so those two Goliaths are going to have to kill each other and plus whatever's up there. Then they're going to come after me and then I'm going to take them to these badasses over here. I'm going to go get the vault symbol while these kill each other.
This is it. The Firehawks
if one
hideout.
levels up and then they're both badasses or whatever, two badasses might take a long time to kill each other. And then if I aggro the badass, if he comes to badass Psycho, he comes my way, I'm just gonna pop his head. But if the Goliath caught him, which he hasn't, I gotta go aggro. Let me go aggro my okay, so now he's coming. Okay, you go in there.
I'm gonna gouge your eyes out!
Oh, he put him down because he didn't have no health. Probably the one that was leveled up killed the one that wasn't leveled up. I mean, got killed by that one, and he didn't really level up, and then he tried to kill up that pyro, and then he got really weak. He managed to kill him, but he got really weak. Okay, a cutty, bandity, slaggy thingy. Yeah, you know, Borderlands, like I said, it became a following. I don't think Gearbox really understood what they did in Borderlands 1, and people still like it. And I like the guns because the guns all look the same, but they all feel the same in Borderlands 1. And then it is truly random. Like you can get, like, you know, say if you had a Lasco firing pattern, that would be locked into the barrel. And then you could get an anarchy, you know, and then
That was satisfying.
why doesn't he have a big old pipe in his hand? He just was coming after me with his hands. I think they basically played it safe with Borderlands 2. They knew people liked it and they knew people wanted more, so they followed the same exact formula, and then they just did a new gun system. And to be honest, I really truly like the Borderlands 2 gun system. And then now that you can mod it and get rid of weapons you don't disagree with, or buff weapons that you feel should be better, thanks to Shadowevil's community patch, I think Borderlands is now a much better game than Borderlands 1. And one thing that I really truly can't stand when I go back and play Borderlands 1, when you go in to fight for your life in Borderlands 1, since shields meant more, say you're sniping a whole bunch of enemies and a guy over here you didn't see, it takes your shield down. Then you run for cover, and then right when you're ready for cover, you catch a fire dot, and then you go down right here. Well, then you can't. You're down, you know, here, and you have no access to get a second win. And I thought the second win system in Borderlands is one of the most ingenious things. Like, yeah, you know, you're Dead Island, you have your second win system, but you can only kind of shoot from a laid position, and only really you were just trying to cover the person that was coming to try to revive you. And I think Borderlands did a better revive system, and I think because a loot midget is a rare enemy, that they spawn a little more in the community patch than they do, and that's only better to get pearlescence outside of Digistruct Peak and stuff. But it probably also means more rabid skags spawn.
Please insert any donated organs into the
I don't know if my vendor mod is working, to be honest.
Try not
I
to
think
die.
my
A fantastic day for capitalism.
I might have to read into how you set like a, because some mods say load this mod first, and I'm like, I don't know how to load a mod first. But if I find out, I do a video, because I know people in the comments can ask, how do you mod Borderlands? And it's really, really simple.
I'll find you sooner or later.
Let's see what I do to this level.
What are you looking
version.
at?
Oh man, I pulled the trigger right before the cutscene. I wanted to see if it took all his health, most of his health away. Yeah, they followed a safe system, and I think they, you know, I don't think slag was the best way to go. I think cryo would have been better.
The name's Lilith.
I'm
with the Raiders like you.
You know,
I
and
keep
make
bandits
the
in line so
cryo
Roland can focus
debuff
on
the
taking
enemy,
down
because
Jack.
that's what they wanted to
Anyway,
debuff
story
for
loves
the
a little
enemy.
bleeding.
And my thing with
Help you out.
cryo is, I mean, slag is like, let's say I got a sniper rifle, or I'm using Zero and I got 2 sniper rifles. I want to do a lot of damage.
Some iridium, will
Okay,
you?
well,
You should have some in one of
Zero's
my
got
strong
such high
boxes.
critical buffs. You would take a shot and it would just kill it. It would basically take all the health but a slither. Well, that's not worth me switching to a slag, taking a shot, not doing hardly any damage, and then switching back to another rifle. I would just rather shoot twice with the first sniper rifle, you know? And that was like that with a
Iridium
lot
now,
of
talk
weapons
later.
that, yeah, you did double damage, but the time it took you to switch, and then if you're shooting with the slag, you might take 4 or 5 shots to get the cryo to actually, I mean the slag to actually take effect. And on low
Appreciate it.
rarity weapons, the chance is crap. So you're shooting like 10 times to get a cryo effect to happen.
Thanks.
And then if like you're on Maya without a lot,
Roland,
with no
come.
switch
He's not here.
weapon swap
The
speed,
Bloodshots grabbed him.
to switch to another weapon,
Never came after me this hard.
it didn't last long enough. So you'd only get like 1 or 2 shots. You were just better off shooting the first weapon, you know, the entire time, because you could have
I'll see
been
if I
doing
can't
twice,
phase blast
you know, doing twice as many shots with the first weapon. And so they didn't make it worth it to me. And if they wanted to make it worth it, just put more make the shields more, buff the shields by 3 times. Make fire not do anything to it. Make corrosion do make fire and corrosion do the exact amount of damage that it does now, but buff the shields like say 3, 4, 5 times, and then just make electric do 3 to 4 times the damage to shields, and then you would just switch up for shields. You know, don't create another element. And then if they wanted to, they could have, you know, made early game you would switch between electric and other weapons to get people's shield down and then do damage. because fire does 1.7 times the flesh, but it does crap the shield. So you would switch between shields and you know, electric for shields, and don't put these arbitrary restrictions on what can drop when. And then when you get either you could sit with a fire weapon shooting at an enemy like 20 bullets to get their shield down, and then you could melt them away once you got their shield around, or you could get an electric weapon and instantaneously take their shield down, but would just do card damage to their health, and then it would cause you to switch up to, like, you know, switch to electric weapons, get a whole group of enemy shields down, and then, you know, I just think they poorly. I don't think slag was the best way to go. Some people like it, some people hate it. I don't think it's particularly the best way to go. I think they should have just did electric and maybe worked on trying to squeeze cryo in some kind of way. And checking to see where my dog is and not paying attention.
Great.
And then, you know,
That was fun.
you could have got an electric
Feeling
weapon,
tapped out,
and
though,
then
'cause
if
give
it
me
was
another hug
important
over-
to you to
Yeah,
get their
half the
shields
stuff.
down, like
Give me
here, if all those guys had shields, when a big group would spawn, I could switch to my electric and then just nail everybody's shields, and then if I got everybody's shield down, then I could switch to my fire and just melt them all. I think that would have been a better way, kind of more like a rock, paper, scissors type thing.
Thanks.
Because the game the way it is like now, like slag, okay, at high levels, you slag an enemy, even with their shield up, they get slagged. Why does slag get the trespasser
The vault
skill?
opened,
Why
my
does all of a
siren
sudden,
powers
you
being a
know,
little-
I think an enemy
Thanks to
that
the
isn't
medium stuff.
electric,
No
with, I
idea
mean,
why.
it doesn't,
Now, let's
that
talk about
has a
rescuing my
shield,
boyfriend.
that's a protected bubble around you. If you fire slag at them, it's just a liquid. It should just stay on their shield, and their shield should be slagged. And then if you get past their shield, then you have to slag them actually again. And I'm like, well, you know, that's too involved. I don't like just switching out the slag. But
Well,
it would be more like rock,
Before
paper,
the blood
scissors, you
contact,
know?
Roland was getting into the vault, and what Jack
I think they just leave it the way Borderlands 1
I gotta
was,
head back to St.
and then leave that slot that they use for slag for cryo.
But first, I'm gonna
And it just
tell
made
you
it a
who's in the
normal
blood
element, you
Stronghold.
know?
That's where they're keeping Roland.
And I
You'll
think
catch
that would
him
have
by
been a
surprise
better
and have
way
real
around
advantage.
it.
It'll be great.
Because you
Hold still.
already can't, you already don't have enough slots. You kind of want to keep, like, you got sniper rifles, rocket launchers, SMGs, assault rifles.
Right. Still
Um,
getting used to this.
in
Reminds me,
Borderlands
though,
1 you
Bloodshot
had
Stronghold's
revolvers
real
and
tough customers. Might wanna
repeaters,
train a bit before you take them on.
and
You're doing good out there, by the
you
way.
know,
Keep it up.
adding all the different elements. You can't keep like a fire sniper, I mean like an electric sniper, so you could just do, you know, good damage to everything. You know, a fire SMG, a slag pistol. You know, you can't keep all the elements and all the types. And then, like, Randy tweeted out there's 10 manufacturers, so I don't know if they're bringing back SNS and Atlas, or they come up with something new. Maybe they went back to the Iridians, which I didn't think were that good. I think E-Tech weapons, basically in the community patch, yeah, I think there's a second chest, right? Or I think these boxes are replaced with a second chest right here in my patch mod. But look at that, a Chinook. It seems like some kind of way something with the corrosive mod broke, with the cryo mod broke my chest mod, and then I don't think my vendors, or maybe it's just not that early, I don't know, but yeah, there's always an extra chest in there, so, and the vendors are always got really good stuff in it, but you just can't afford it this low.
You've had your shots.
And it doesn't seem to be doing that right now. I don't know if it's broke, or I might have to look into rearranging mods and see. Like I said, I'm no expert on mods. Yeah, I kind of should have went back to something really. they basically followed
Alright,
in
killer. I'm
Borderlands
back in Sanctuary.
2. They
Be
played it
careful.
kind
The
of
Bloodshots have
safe.
camped out all
And
around
the
the dam.
one
You'll want to get a vehicle to soak up some bullets for you.
the one gamble they tried was slag, and honestly I don't think they should have did it. I think they should have stuck to doing difficulty levels, you know, normal mode, ultimate vault hunter mode, and you know, ultimate vault hunter mode, and then the OP levels, like, and then make that optional for the people who want it. I wish they would have just left 2 playthroughs and properly scaled the game to where playthrough 1 was to like level 55 or so, 56 or something like that, and then playthrough 2 was, you know, ultimate vault hunter mode. That way people who wanted to stay in normal mode, or you know, would be able to get access to all the raid bosses at level 56. You could have had the Seraph crystals, all that stuff, and if you just didn't want to mess around with that super hard mode and then go to the OP levels, you could just stay in that. And the casuals could, you know, get to like level 56 or so and play through 1 and then play through 2, and it would be, and then you could go to like level 28 and beat the warrior, and then do all the DLCs, and then I don't think I have any. I need to pick one of these and get rid of the rest. This has a Maliwan barrel, but it doesn't do much more than my level 11. So I'm gonna get rid of some of this garbage, pick up this mission, and go do boil. Maybe
Got
we'll
something
get
new for you.
a fastball.
So I kind of inspired a cult.
Yeah, but we ain't doing
and not
that.
the fun
Not
asking
yet.
for autographs kind.
Ooh, that's
I
pretty.
need you to infiltrate the
That's
children of the
pretty.
Firehawk and find
That
out if
is
they're
so
planning
pretty.
anything shady. I do it myself, but I'm kind of worried they'd freak out if they saw their god in person.
58.
Go talk to the cult's leader,
I'm not
Incinerator
gonna use
Clayton.
that. A Chinook's not that good. It's probably the worst Jacob sniper rifle. I'll keep that. I don't even know who dropped that. This is getting a little old. I don't really care for TD-door pistols unless it's a revolver. I don't want this one. I don't want this one. I got a fire sniper, so Hyperion did get buffed a little. That's a 7. That's a 8. I need a new shotgun. I don't want a Banshee class mod, especially none without passives. Yeah, I'm not really seeing mods. Normally you could, normally the machines would have almost every mod
I always buy
in
guns you
it.
don't need.
If you're playing as a siren, almost
Later.
every mod available. Like, that would be one of my criticisms of Borderlands 1 vending machines mod, is that maybe the drop rates are still a tad too high,
Fix that.
and they up the quantity, like the number of items in the mod, but sometimes you spawn in, and this is a health mod. I want to get a shield, and it's just like the whole upper section is just class mod, and there'll be like 2 shields in it.
Next time
I
you're
don't
bleeding
know really
to
what's
death,
causing
just
that. I don't know what causes the ratio between the 2 to spawn differently. And let's go find a new grenade mod. So like, if you're just a
high
casual,
quality,
you can
low
find
prices,
more.
and no questions
And
asked.
then yeah, the vendors always,
Remember,
they have
we're
relics in
always
it,
open.
and with the mate.
Please insert any donated organs into the receptacle below.
Make
Good luck.
vendors great again. The relics were all like blues and purples, and I thought that was a little bit overpowered, but
If he ain't dead, I'll keep
yeah, I'm not really seeing. Yeah, I think my mod is broken on that, but we're okay. I really wanted to play with the cryo, so maybe after I do the playthrough, if people more interested in some of my mods, I'll do like showcases with the cryo off, and then you could see like some of these other mods and how you know, kind of like living with them really is. So this has a slow fire rate, but it's still faster than a bolt action, and it almost does the damage that my bolt action does. That's not even better than the shield. Not much better. It's got a better, and then this is a fire one, but it's a Nova. I don't want a Nova, I want Spike. I want those fools that sneak up on me to get hurt. We don't want Incinerator, not that button. Now that I got the mod that escapes to bring up the game menu, the tilde key is now to bring up the console, and then tab is to bring up my
Ever
inventory.
faked your own death?
I get
Tricky
confused a
stuff.
lot.
Did it a couple years back to throw
I do
Hyperion
that in
off my trail,
Skyrim too.
but
I'm
apparently
constantly
some
hitting the
bandit's been spying on me.
tilde key,
He's gonna
like
tell
hitting
Hyperion
escape
what he knows,
and
unless
bringing
you
up
take
the
him out first.
menu when I want to bring up the console command because I'm like stuck somewhere. But my point is Borderlands 2, they followed the same exact formula, and then they brought DLC characters out, which I thought was a good move. Gage was alright. Krieg was, you know, Gage. Dirch is a Borderlands guy I watch, and he hasn't been doing videos for a couple of months. He kind of covered all this mod stuff, and he was doing reviews on some of the OP stuff, and I was like, I kind of saw it corrupt him a little bit. Like he was like putting super high-powered weapons in it at OP8, and he was like one-shot and stuff, or you know, two-shot critting enemies, and as like you buff a whole bunch of weapons and then you start replacing useless weapons with these OP weapons, it kind of makes like the OP levels become like normal mode, and it's like, well then why are you playing a hard mode? And I think it kind of like, I don't know if he actually plays the game, but I know he does give, because all his weapons are perfect and he just plays around with his builds and min-max, and I did that for a while, and it kind of took some of the enjoyment out of the game, and then I think modding brought some of it back for him, but then he kind of let the OP weapons creep into his load order, and then I think he lost like some of his fun again, and then he hasn't been posting, and he probably just stopped playing Borderlands. I'm trying to get the this is a really hard challenge to kill Bull without messing, and if any one of them touches me, they're gonna get damaged. Oh, one of them touched me, so
Check it out.
ooh, a fireball. Yes.
That wasn't so difficult.
I think you get a challenge for killing Bull without, but I think it's easier at normal mode when your skill tree like way overpowers him, and then you could kind of like have something like well, you wouldn't want to do it with a Pimpernel, but get something like
Mr. Bull,
a bolt action
we at Hyperion are
Jacobs.
skeptical.
This is freaking awesome. Look at the freaking damage on that stupid thing. Like, there's nothing in the game that even comes close to that. Like I'm gonna be getting rocket launchers ain't even dropping yet, and this does more damage than most rocket launchers.
Bandit Lilith was confirmed dead
But
after the liberation of New Haven.
that's a hard challenge
We
to
will need
get.
to listen to your footage before payment
Just
can
like
be processed.
Killing
Leave
Bunker
the echoes
without
in the attached
killing
dead
any
drop
of his
locations.
turrets. That's kind of hard.
Find those echoes, killer. If Hyperion finds out I'm alive and working with the Crimson Raiders, it could be New Haven all over again.
Yeah, Borderlands, they basically follow the formula. They didn't really change that much from it. And people are like already speculating, oh, in Borderlands 3 we're gonna have weapons crafting always online, we're gonna have cryo, slag, we're gonna have new elements, we're gonna have this and that.
I like this place.
Now,
Hyperion
Randy
should be
did
able to
say he
find
was
you
gonna have
here.
10
Thanks. I
manufacturers.
tried to make it very
And I'm
Gruesome.
kind of
I was gonna
concerned
say
about
cozy.
that
You
because
shot charred bandit corpses around the entrance.
Corpses can be cozy.
the
Kinda
pre-sequel,
like our
I
place
think
in
what
New
they
Haven
did
before.
wrong
Yeah, I'm
was
going now.
okay. They added
Lilith.
lasers. Okay, so basically Borderlands has lasers. A railer is just a E-Tech sniper, that can crit, which the community patch has fixed in Borderlands 1 now. So basically we have railers. I mean, rail guns, a blaster, or a a blaster style laser is a blaster in Borderlands, except a blaster can crit, I think, and in Borderlands 2 they can't. Well, the community patch fixed that, so now they can crit. And then there's no real beam laser per se.
Now, you ain't a stickler for seatbelts, airbags, or engines that don't go boom.
A splitter,
You come
or
to
I think
my
it's called
place.
a spitter or a splitter, I don't know. The Tediador ones were like a laser shotgun. Well, there was nothing like that in Borderlands 2, but I have a mod on here, and if we ever find a splat gun, it basically turns it into a splitter or spitter or whatever they are. And actually, they're actually awesome now because in Borderlands 2, a splat gun is the most useless thing in the world. It can't crit. It's all splash damage. The damage isn't that high, and you're just sitting there waiting, loading. I think it's 2 ammo per shot or something stupid, and it doesn't. You're just sitting there watching the enemies burn, and they're just like, die already. And you just keep hitting them and hitting them and hitting them and hitting them, and it's like the only real good splat gun was the slow hand, which by putting this mod in, you kind of lose the slow hand. But instead of finding 20 bad weapons, I'll give up one good weapon too. And then the slow hand isn't all that bad. I haven't found one yet. I haven't got one yet. I haven't done all the DLCs yet, but with some of my Allegiance runs, and so I haven't got a bad touch yet, but I mean, not a bad touch, what is it? The slow hand yet, so I can't say if it's like totally ruined it and it's no longer a good weapon. It might, because so
what's the
far
emergency?
the splat guns I did
Come
find
again.
were
I was out
freaking
hunting,
awesome.
and
So
I found some of that iridium stuff, and one of those weird worshiper guys sees me, and I chase him down and grab him, and he just...
since
Liquefied?
they're awesome, I can't imagine a slow hand being
Awesome.
bad.
I don't know if it's because of the vault
It's just
opening
gonna
or
be
being
different than
siren
what
or
it
both,
originally
but
was.
This iridium stuff is the tits.
Which is
You
not
look really
necessarily a bad thing if you make
Passed
all
out a few
other
times, but this should be
splat guns
huge.
good, or
Okay,
at
but why
least
not just send an
usable.
echo? Why call me out here and increase the risk of Hyperion
Since we
finding out
found
you're
this
still working with the
Hyperion
Crimson
plasma
Raiders?
caster, Bandit plasma casters were some of the worst plasma
because
casters because they had this like
How are
jittery
you doing?
like firing pattern because they kind of wanted to make them seem inaccurate, and they basically were just garbage because of that. Well, the community patch made them fire like a normal plasma caster and just let them have the big mag size, which is what you need in a plasma caster, so it made bandits usable. They're still not the best in the world, but they're usable. And then I don't know if it, well, you can't get a bandit barrel because then it wouldn't be an E-Tech. But you can get an accuracy prefix, which I never finished on the anarchies. If you get an accuracy prefix, which is never used on a SMG anyway, it doesn't really make any of the accurate ones more accurate. And then the ones, I wanted to just teleport the vehicle because it was already up there and I wouldn't have to go through the cave. But I messed up and hit respawn my vehicle, so I don't need that XP that bad. These guys are so low level, I'm not going to get XP anyway, so now I can use the vehicle and I'm not really worried about it. So, if you get a bandit barrel, you get an anarchy, and then if you get it, or if you get a accuracy prefix, you get an anarchy, and then but if you get a bandit barrel plus a accuracy prefix, you end up with a double anarchy. You get a ×4 multiplier, and so. Bandit barrel anarchies are not that good. I would rather have just an anarchy from the accuracy prefix because you don't lose as much accuracy. And like a dull barrel anarchy with an accuracy prefix is freaking awesome. It's accurate like a sniper, but you got 2 pellets, and then the 2 pellets together both hit crits, and they do more damage than one single pellet hitting a crit.
The raiders could use the help.
And then,
Track them down.
if you get a double anarchy, you can kind of get...
I'll see if I can contact him by echo on my way back to Sanctuary.
Good. You can go now.
Well, I'm sorry.
You can kind of get
I'm a
pretty
little busy
decent
waging a one-woman war
weapons
on
by
every
making
bandit
it
in
a
the
double
tundra,
anarchy.
So you can focus on taking down Jack.
But
hey, if
pretty
you wanna
much
hang
they
out,
just become
just give up this
shotguns.
Firehawk thing and let the
I
bloodshots
don't want to go
overrun
here
Sanctuary.
because then I gotta walk all the way to
You're right. Of course.
Lilith.
Are you sure? I can make cocoa. We can talk about boys.
I'll just talk to you once I find the Vault Hunter. I'm sorry for... Well, I'm sorry.
And then say, like I said, I don't think vending machines need to drop better
Play
loot.
hard to get. That's
I
how
think
you
they
do
just
it.
need to have a script like this where you could get a blue in the vending machine and have more items in the vending machine, have more greens, and maybe the possibility of having a blue just normally. And then don't lock these out. Like, these are locked to like level 6, level 7, level 8, so I can't farm them, you know?
Let me know
If I pass this
anything
vending
touches
machine
your
100 times, let me have the option to get a different, stuff out of there. Don't lock me out. I hope they learn that in Borderlands 3. Even in level 1, just let them scale to the player. Let the first playthrough all missions scale to the player. Like, when you first spawn in Sanctuary and there's 10 missions, let all those be locked to the level that they're locked at. But then let the vending machine scale. Don't let, lock certain parts of the game out.
Former landsman working for a phone.
So I got to mod it, double anarchies and finish up that. I got a mod that makes
Great.
splat guns, which are totally unusable, into spitters or splitters or whatever you want to call them, and makes them usable. And actually, they're pretty good because now they can crit. They still got elemental, and then they shoot like shotgun style pellets, and so they get more chances to cause elemental effect instead of just being always
Thanks.
elemental.
The less
effect.
Hyperion knows about me, the better.
I thought I might have.
You didn't
leveled up on that.
listen to those echoes, right?